Good afternoon. Everybody is talking about a name, Sushant Singh Rajput, and his suicide. I don't know much about this Sushant Singh Rajput to begin with, but as everybody is talking about it, you go through any news or anything to do with India, Bollywood, or any moral issue, you will see everybody is talking about it. So I have been asked by a few friends what was my opinion about bullying in Bollywood and everything. So my position when it comes to morality, I would say Sushant Singh Rajput was a bloody coward. I never restrained myself from expressing my opinion. So my position is very clear. He was a bloody coward, and um, if he committed suicide, as far as I know, that he committed suicide. Anybody who commits suicide is a coward. Anybody who thinks of committing suicide, either he has a mental disorder, or if he's suffering from mental disorder, then he should be locked up, because that's the position when it comes to law under several mental health related laws around the world. So if he was showing any kind of symptoms of severe depression, then his near ones should have referred him to a psychiatrist to have him assessed whether he was suffering from depression, that he could probably he was going to take his life. Nevertheless, anybody, unless there's a serious mental disorder going on, anybody who thinks of committing suicide, anybody who commits a suicide, are bloody cowards. Sushant Singh is no exception. It is irrelevant whether he's a superstar or he's a street fellow. Whoever commits suicide is a bloody coward. If there is bullying going on in Bollywood, and this allegation has been going around for many years, then this needs to be taken into account seriously. But that doesn't justify someone taking his own life. You're looking at someone who receives abuses, death threats on a daily basis. You know, when I was talking against extremism and terrorism, Islamist terrorism, because I didn't accept that somebody would be using my religion for carrying out terrorist attacks, I was receiving death threats on a daily basis. I even received death threats from Islamic State, and this is well documented. You just go ahead and go and Google. And when I left Islam, because I was being harassed on a daily basis for criticizing extremism, then I was still, my death threats were coming in like in truckloads every day. I received like thousands of death threats. So far, there's a case going on against Facebook. I sued Facebook, and there are at least 17,000 plus death threats recorded against me. Then obviously I realized that this extremism has nothing to do with Islam, because this is mainly Islam was stolen by Salafis, Wahhabis, and Umayyads, if you go back in history. So I came back to my faith, and still I'm trying to expose the truth that how Islamic jurisprudence went wrong under the influence of Umayyads and various caliphs, and how extremism took over, Islamic jurisprudence took over in the last few decades. I'm still getting death threats. I'm still getting being harassed on a daily basis. I'm receiving abuses by the second. But I look into different angle. I looked into the fact that Allah says in the Quran that Allah doesn't give anyone a burden which he can't carry. So I find solace in there, and I find reasons to still go on. I haven't been able to see my youngest son because my stranger wife wouldn't let me see him. I missed him on Father's Day. Still, I'm still talking. I'm still doing my research. I haven't been able to go back to my motherland for many years because of the present dictator. Sheikh Hasina is in power. Sometimes I get frustrated from people not being able to understand the slightest analytical issues. They sometimes make me upset, but at the same time, I pull myself together and say, I feel sorry for you guys that you can't understand the slightest of the things that an ordinary man with ordinary intellect should be able to understand. When I started talking about politics, theology, and everything, I was before that, for many years, I was a brilliant lawyer. I had to give up my profession because I couldn't find any secure law firm where I would be able to do my work, and I wouldn't have the possibility of being shut down by a terrorist when getting out of the office. So I had to give up my profession. So anybody who wants to take his life because of his profession, anybody who wants to take his life for being harassed, abused, is a bloody coward. So I would say that you should not look up to someone like Sushant Singh as a hero. He probably was a hero in Bollywood film screens, but in real life, he was a bloody coward. He is not someone who should be looked up as a hero, rather a coward, a loser in life, and his examples should be discarded. Thank you. I don't want to make it a long video. It's quick response.